Oh, my head. Oh. What? Where am I?
You are now in the review world. This is where you will live indefinitely.
Yo, man, this isn't cool. I'm like all flat and stuff.
Hey, send me back. No, I don't think so. I'm going on vacation. To Cancun! Deuces! Wait, you can't leave me here. Get back! Get back here! You can't do this to me, you ugly, stupid, blue spirit!
Huh? What's this? No, I can't do this. This isn't happening. I'm in a dream. This has to be a dream. I'm not doing this.
If you really want to leave this place, you know what you have to do.
Wait, who are you? And where did you come from?
My name is Tor, and I'm here to guide you on your story. I won't always be here since, frankly, the story isn't always needed.
Look, I just need to know how to leave this place. Like right now.
Honestly, only you have the answer to that.
Look, I don't want to take a year going back and forth, so I'm going to get this all out now. That's Tor, he's Gam.
That's me.
And I'm Des. We're like, I don't know, the 3 disciples or something?
You are ruining my perfectly good and suspenseful story.
Whatever, Tor, you've always been long-winded. Well, you see, each of us are good at something. I focus on pure design.
Yeah, I focus on gameplay, the only part of the game that actually matters.
And I love a perfectly good story. The kind of stories that fill you with
Great story, Tor.
So if all of you are here, then why do you even need me?
So, spoiler alert, we are all actually a part of you. Talk about schizo, huh? It's up to you to enter the game and allow us to see it. This way we can help you give a good and accurate rating.
Yeah, well, I'm bored, so let's start already.
Hey, get your hands off! What are you doing?
Digimon World. It's been so long since I've played this game. I have so many wonderfully nostalgic memories from it. You guys may not know this, but this game actually doesn't have much to do with the anime. It's actually based off of the Virtual Pets game. You see, when I first started middle school, Tamagotchis, Digivices, and knockoffs were everywhere. It was all the rage to have these little electronic pets by your side. Well, mostly for girls. But whatever, I love the shit out of it. These devices had you raising little small creatures from egg hatchlings and have them grow all the way till their final demise. How well or how bad you treat them will affect on what they become. You may be saying, "Hey Chris, what's with the history lesson? We want to know about Digimon World." Well, I say, hush you. It will all make sense very soon. That kind of rhymed. So,
I always love hearing about where the original material came from, but what about the story of the game?
Well, the story behind Digimon World 1, and please let me specify, World 1, Digimon World 1, because it is extremely different than its sequels. The sequels, in my honest opinion, aren't as good.
When has a sequel ever been better than the original?
Empire Strikes Back, Spider-Man 2, Batman Returns, Back to the Future 2, Terminator 2. I mean, this is a pretty long list if you don't include Disney.
Ha! Des 1, Tor Zip. Whoa. Are we gonna have to replace you, Tor, with someone who actually knows what they're talking about?
You start out as a human named Hiro. You can actually change your name to whatever you want, but his name is generic Hiro, or Hiro in Japanese. You live in the real world. Well, a world where Digivices are very popular, and are quickly then sucked into your Digivice to File City. You are brought here by Digimon, who is in desperate need of your help. All the Digimon of File City have lost their memories and have gone feral. It is your task as the hero of this story to search out the wild residents and knock some sense into them. Sometimes, literally. Well, you eventually find out that weird stuff is happening in the Digimon world, and as you explore more and more of this land, the truth becomes clear.
Cool story, bro, but let's get technical. What about the game's design? You know, all the stimuli such as audio, visual, stats, menus, interface.
Okay, sure, but first, let's discuss the elephant in the room. You may have noticed as you move your character around. Yeah. This is the one thing that annoyed the hell out of me while playing. It's the same monotonous sound over and over and over again. You can't turn it off, you can't mute it. It's just a fact of life in the Digimon world. Yay. There's really not a lot of voiceover work, so you'll be doing a lot of reading. But the voices that you do hear make it clear that this is a Japanese-made game. Yatta! For its time, this was a pretty amazing game, actually. It's fully 3D, has a giant open world that you can explore. You sort of have a choice on where you wanted to go at any given time. And when you get into battles, it didn't take you into a completely different screen. You battled right there. It wasn't just some random encounter. The menus are also nicely put together. You have a meter in the corner that indicates your Digimon's happiness and discipline. Their needs are also expressed through emoticons that pop up over their head. You have hunger, tired, sickness, sleepy, or even if they have to take a poop. There's even a time factor in the game. Yes, this game takes place in real time where each minute of gameplay equals an hour in the Digimon world. You only have so much time with your Digimon since they only have about 16 days to live. But don't worry, once your Digimon dies, it's kind enough to create an egg for you so you can start the entire process all over again. Speaking of zones, this also determines how your Digimon is raised. I mean, Digimon like particular zones over others. There's zones that they love to be in all the time, and there's zones that they just hate. You have the hot, fiery lava zones, ice cold tundras, zones that only Digimon that are virus can enter, and also zones that only vaccine Digimon can enter. Eventually, as you're exploring through the game, and you knock some sense into these Digimon, you get more and more Digimon that want to join your city. You'll also be given new features with each Digimon that joins in, such as fast travel, hospitals to cure your Digimon from tiredness or sickness, a fighting arena, bigger shops, and even a cool little cafe. All your stats and your Digimon stats are tracked in-game. Here you can check how well you're doing as a trainer, how awesome your Digimon is, and all his techniques that he has learned throughout his journey. You can also praise him, discipline him, and access your inventory from this screen.
Everybody knows that the only thing that really matters is the gameplay. A game can have the best storyline and be wonderfully technical, but if it's not fun to play, then none of that will matter.
You have a point there. When you first arrive to Foul City, you'll be introduced to your Digimon by Digimon. You see, the game asks you a few questions in the beginning. Depending on how you answer these questions will determine if your starting Digimon will be Agumon or Gabumon. You're given a few instructions, and then you head over to the training facility. This is where you're going to spend most of your time in game, at least in the beginning. Remember, you only have so much time. At this point, you're going to want to train up your Digimon friend a bit. You have a couple different stats that you can train up, such as strength, defense, speed, brain, HP, and MP. All this, including weight, discipline, and happiness, will dictate what your Digimon will digivolve into. Your Digimon will have many different stages in their lifespan. They go from baby, to in training, to rookie, to champion, to ultimate, and if you're really good, maybe even a mega form Digimon. As much as you want to continue training until you have the best stats, you can't do this forever. You have to go out and play the game. You must go into the world and complete your hero's quest. Surprisingly enough, the first Digimon that you encounter is going to be Agumon. By the way, if you go into the forest at the very beginning, you are most likely screwed, as he may own your face. If you lose to him, you will lose 1 out of 3 of your lives. If you lose all 3 of your lives, your Digimon is dead. I recommend training a bit until you get decent stats before facing him. Once you have defeated your first Digimon, you will notice a couple special things. There are things that happen when you fight wild Digimon, such as you gain stats, second, items, and third, and the most important, in my opinion, you also have the ability to gain their moves, their techniques. This is a part of the system that I really enjoy. But then, this also leads to the part that I hate horribly, the fighting system. This is the one thing that throws me off about the game. You can't directly control your Digimon. You're basically the coach, the trainer. Yeah, that's who you are. You're the trainer. Your Digimon is Rocky Balboa, and you are his trainer. Honestly, it's really your Digimon doing all the work there. All you're doing is really yelling at him. When he isn't listening, you yell at him. When he's giving it his all, you yell at him. But don't fret. There's a tiny glimmer of hope in the distance. If you put all your time into raising your Digimon's smarts, his brain ability, you will notice something. As he gets smarter and smarter, more options pop up for you to yell at him. You can tell him to run away, you can tell him to defend, and if he's really, really smart, you can also tell him which powers to use. Though, most of the time he still doesn't really listen to you. Now, all in all, you have about 65 Digimon that you could train and partner up with. Like I said before, this is mostly based off of the Digivices, and not really the anime. The anime just came out about the time that the game was released. I guess they were trying to cash in on the hype train. Overall, I absolutely love this game. I still love this game, even after 15 years. Yes, this game was released around 1999, but it still holds up and still delivers a good time.
So, what score are you going to give it?
Alright, boss. So on a scale of 1 to suck, what would you give it?
Score? Nah, I'm not going to give it a score. Each game is special and unique in their own right, and I don't think games should be measured that way. All I'm going to do is say that I had a blast playing this game, and I will recommend it to anyone. Why don't you check it out yourself? Give it your own opinion. I'm only here as a guide, but it's up to you to experience the game for yourself.
Well said. You are much more different than the guys before you.
Hey guys, look over here, a new door is opened.
Huh. There's a door. Hey, Des, go through that one first. Huh! Ha!
Let's see what this game world has to offer.